You are now tuned in to the New Old Heads podcast, premiered every Thursday at noon at bringingdowntheband.com and brought to you by No Bad Ideas, Coleman Dental, Printfinity, and Team Backpack. Support the New Old Heads by visiting our Patreon at patreon.com/newoldheads. Episode 93, New Old Heads podcast. I am Major 7. I make beats. I got the hard drive to prove it, and I do want that smoke. The chalice is in front of me, so is Lonegevity. How are you, sir?
I'm well. How are you?
Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. I see you locked and loaded. Got a nice amount there today.
Yeah, it's pretty full.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Nice kid. I see you.
We'll see.
In the corner, fresh to death as always, DJ Jay Diff.
Salutations.
What's going on, man?
I'm good, man.
Good.
I definitely got my kit together.
Yeah, I see you. You locked and loaded as well.
Locked and loaded.
That's a fresh. I like that tea, brother. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
I always tell
I
you.
ain't make it.
I know you didn't, but it's cool though.
Yeah.
We did see some items that you did make before we went on. So shout out to Printfinity. That boy does do some good work. So
Thank you kindly.
yeah, he's cold at what he does. Don't know introduction needed, but I guess I'll go ahead and take care of what I need to take care of. Mr. Wavy Light Skinned Girls Be Loving Me Now, the voice of Indianapolis. He is conditioned. He is my brother. Jay Moore is with us.
What's going on, everyone?
How are you, sir?
Doing well. Doing real good, actually.
I like how you just embracing who you are instead of
No,
just a
that's just
rebuttal.
you, your inability to get over it.
This is what I wouldn't take,
You
though.
you can't get over your own conditioning and have to project onto me.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. This
I
is what I
feel you.
wouldn't take.
Oh, I knew you had something.
He keeps saying you condition like a perm, man.
Yeah, man.
Oh.
But, you know,
Condition.
I mean, that's about him and his conditioning. He's going to come to terms with it one of these days.
Yeah.
So that's fine.
Just know I saw the conditioning in action. We'll
Yeah.
just leave that at that. Red August is in the building as well. Pay that man for his services. He is nice at what he does. Bar mitzvah. I'm not
He
doing
gets
that.
paid.
No, I'm not doing that. He gets paid. We want him to get paid more. Weddings, graduations.
This is
family
for him
reunions.
actually doing work.
Yeah,
Right?
he get that bread. We want. I'm campaigning for him to get more bread.
Or
That's
we
all.
can just give you his PayPal and you can just send him money.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
red up.
Cash app.
Yeah,
Cash.
We'll post that up next week. Make sure y'all pay this man just off GP. He does great work. Helps us out. He has enhanced our show, our overall experience. So we appreciate you, brother, for that.
And we are still nominated for podcast in the best podcast in Indianapolis,
Yes,
Indiana.
per
Indie Star.
Please go check us out. I have the link posted on my Instagram page. It is in my profile. So throw your boys a vote. We want to
You
try
can
to
vote
win that
every day.
every day.
Yeah.
I actually know some people
I'm gonna vote right
that
now.
are out there
Vote
getting
early,
votes.
vote often.
Vote early and vote often. We need
And
your
I'm
support.
wearing one right now.
Yes.
What y'all know about that throwback?
Jay Moore laughed. I guess he does. Nobody else did.
Nope.
Y'all make sure y'all vote for us. Check us out because we really would like to win that. We are all competitive. We show love to everybody else, but a win is a win. So it would feel good to win that, no?
Yeah, we might be invited to like a banquet or something.
It might give us a plaque we can put on the table.
I'm
low-key.
sure that probably comes with it.
That'd be
so?
nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's try to get
We
the
just
plaque
have to
then.
share it and be all ours.
It could be
Yeah.
like both ours.
Can I take it home and show I could take it to my mother's house and show it to her and then bring it back?
I'll get it for Krima.
I think I got Thanksgiving in.
All right.
Bet that. Shout out to Lone with the phone volume.
He get it for Halloween.
He gets for
Word.
Halloween? Yeah.
Yeah.
Jay Moore, when you want to take it?
I'll take it on alternate Wednesdays.
Dang.
That sounds
Okay.
like a party.
Yeah, it does. Right?
Alternate Wednesday.
alternate
Jay Moore gonna be
Wednesday.
carrying it around at coach. It's like,
Voted.
yeah,
Yeah.
just so y'all know, when he get to talking that cash, he gonna be holding up the plaque. So I ain't
Yeah.
mad at that.
Word.
Shout out to the Stakes is High podcast as well as the Drunken Knights. They had their benefit in Sounds Park for the teachers and teacher supply.
Indeed.
Jay Moore and I got a chance to stop by and rep for us. It was a very, very good event. Good food, good games.
Was you on the grill?
I was not.
Oh.
I was in line though.
You got some utensils for that money.
Yeah, yeah.
Shout out to my man Swoop. He held it down as far as getting all the food together, making sure the food's properly seasoned. It was real nice, man.
Tender vittles.
Yeah,
Definitely.
so we definitely appreciate the invite. We had a great time.
Shout out to the random white dude that came and ate like a half
I wish
plate of ribs.
I wish y'all
A
were
whole
there.
half plate?
Oh, like a whole pan. Like
half pan.
like there wasn't,
Yeah.
there was just only so much ribs to go around. Like he had a
Right.
plate of ribs and was standing over the ribs, and I think took some ribs home.
I'm talking about like standing over the tray that they sat
Damn.
down when they were done. Like
He
he's
took
just
'em
leaning
home,
over
though.
that. Like,
Yeah,
eating
and
out of
everybody
them,
was like, "Hey, is
I
that
thought
your
it was
friend?"
somebody. I thought T or
No.
Jones or somebody knew him. And he just
Apparently,
was-
he lived around the corner and heard the music and smelled the food. And he had like a cousin Pete from
Poetic
Lil
Justice.
Lucky. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, Lil Lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was walking around fake engaging with people, but he really was just
trying
getting
to take
plates.
pictures with people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
wanted them
Hey man, I do
ribs.
music, man. Take my number down.
He was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Hope he on,
Here's
ain't
my
on that
card.
crack.
yeah. He ate well though. He did
Crack
have,
tastes like ribs,
Mhm.
then he in trouble.
yeah. So shout out to dude that did not need to be there. He definitely ate good. And
We welcome all people.
Yeah, we
you know,
did.
And
we're
shout out
very-
to Goldberg. This is a PSA real quick since
tell
we're
him
talking
about that, man, because y'all know
ribs
more
and
about
crack.
that than me. I didn't see the movie in a while. We see the
Kids.
chalice. The chalice.
Just say no to drugs.
What
I
did
don't,
you,
I
what
don't
did
know
you
if
see?
y'all are familiar with
the Mighty Ducks.
the Mighty Ducks, and I think he was in Heavyweights.
Mm-hmm.
These are all like
Yeah.
movies when we was
90s.
kids and shit.
Mm-hmm.
But Goldberg is looking real crackish.
How crackish is he looking?
Real crackish. He
Yeah.
might maybe a little bit of meth involved in there.
The
Because
drastic
it looks like his
change.
teeth are gone.
Yeah.
The drastic change between the two photos that you showed, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah.
there was a photo of a year prior. and
I don't
then
know if it was a
couple
year,
years. We say just
but
guessing, right? Maybe
recent.
a couple years, and then the most recent one, and it's two different people,
Yeah,
man. You
man.
can tell he's out of there.
Say no to drugs.
It's a hell of a drug.
Yeah,
Got to be. I ain't gonna never know about it.
nor am I. So
No.
oh, I need
Get
that.
your life together, Goldberg. Shit, man.
Straight up.
I mean, looking like that.
Yeah, man. It's you know, it's crazy because you know with the whole Demi Lovato thing, you see all this sympathy for these drug addicts, but
Yeah.
I'm like, I mean, I understand it's rough out here, but come on, man. Like somewhere along the line, didn't somebody say, hey, maybe meth isn't for you? Everybody
Man.
thinks they can handle their meth. It's like,
Man.
no, I could just do a
Nah.
little meth on the weekends.
No, it
Nah.
doesn't work like that.
Do we know any people that have actually legitimately handled their meth?
No,
No,
Uh,
no,
I don't
no,
know anybody that's
that's
handled
not
their
a
meth.
thing. You,
It's not a public thing probably either.
Then no
Yeah.
girl from Full House was on that shit for a while.
One of the
Or no,
twins?
she was on heroin.
One of
She
the
was on
twins?
one or
You-
two.
just because she looks like
no,
Nah.
no. Actually, the
It
middle
was
sister.
About the
not
twins?
DJ.
The twins, right?
Nah, the
Olsen twins.
you talking about the
No,
younger,
man.
the mid sister.
The
Yeah.
oldest, don't act like the Olsen twins
Stephanie.
wasn't out
yeah,
there.
Stephanie.
I mean, they might have been, but we talking about Stephanie.
Stephanie.
Okay, Stephanie. Okay.
Yeah, she was strung out on some shit.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I do remember hearing about that actually a few years ago.
Yeah, kids say no to drugs.
Yeah.
Our
Shout out
PSA moment.
Mm-hmm.
shout out to Bob Saget.
We're here for the kids.
Bob
Bob
Saget.
Saget was really a raw ass comedian.
Word.
Talk hellish shit.
Oh,
I knew
yeah.
Bob Saget from America's Funniest Home
Yeah,
Videos.
man,
and
that-
Full
that
House.
That
was
wasn't
him
real
getting that
him.
money.
Yeah, I didn't know about his. He had stand up.
Yeah, man.
I was asleep.
I mean, he's a comedian.
I mean, he
So-
could be a comedian in movies.
I'm just
He could
saying.
be-
All I meant by that was he is a comedian,
Is he
And-
for? I
and-
never knew that.
and he's If you don't know about
He's not
Bob
a clean
Saget,
I'm
comedian.
sleep.
He's not a Full
I feel
House
bad now.
Danny Tanner type
Yeah.
person in real life.
he's like
He's good.
He's
huh?
he's more
like-
that guy who
okay,
was
go
in
Don't do that.
in what was the Dave Chappelle movie?
Yeah, how high? I mean, half baked.
Half Baked.
he's like how Bill
He's-
Cosby
he's
really is in real life, but not quite.
Not
Wow.
without the
I
criminal
like
without the
that.
criminal tendencies.
See,
Without the criminal
I
tendencies.
see where you're going. I could take that. I gotta look that up.
Minus the Quaaludes. So.
minus the Quaaludes.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but it was back in that era, so you had all those perfectly, those perfect
He probably
fathers
was
on
doing
television.
that. He was slipping them Quaaludes in drinks too.
Bob Saget.
He might have
Yeah.
been,
Well, I mean,
he's
that
got
was
that white privilege.
It was a party drug.
There you
Brilliant.
go.
Brilliant. Well, that's that. Then.
We taking
Yep.
it somewhere else. Let's get
Yeah,
to
I'm
the
gonna
show.
go. I'm gonna definitely look him up though, because I was sleeping.
Before we slander Bob Saget anymore.
Right.
Shout out to America's Funniest Home Videos. We'll take.
I'm
a
sure
check.
Bob is a perfectly great human being.
Yeah.
Probably
Sure
is.
He probably still getting
But he
bread
be in
out
the
there.
club talking about. And so I says to the bitch. It's
Yeah,
Bob Saget.
that's what's up. So episode 93, I say Dwight Freeney. We cool with that?
Yeah. No problem with
I-
Dwight Freeney. I think he just retired.
Oh, word. Well,
Yeah,
he
I think
gave
he
us
might have
because he-
retired a coat too. I think he.
Yeah, because he actually played in that Super Bowl with the Falcons.
he
yeah.
and Robert Mathis gave us great years. So shout out to Dwight.
Yeah, I think he finished in San Diego.
Yeah.
No, he finished in
But
Atlanta.
Was it Atlanta?
Yeah.
Was
I
that
thought.
Atlanta?
I thought he didn't. He sign like a contract,
Yeah,
a
for the
day
Colts.
contract,
like a
there or
1-day
something.
contract to
Yeah.
finish a Colt. Yeah,
Yeah, he gave us great years. He played, obviously on those teams with P Money. So shout out to Dwight Freeney. All right,
Shout out to L Brown.
don't do that. We're not doing that.
That's my guy.
Yeah, that's the homie.
Yeah.
We not gonna do that. NFL Hall of Fame inductees.
He told us to talk. Actually, he said in a private message.
What's that, Ills?
Yeah, he was like, yeah, make sure y'all talk about that the NFL and Madden. He was trolling.
Oh yes,
Okay,
we're gonna talk
all
about
right,
it.
We'll talk about it.
But shout out to Randy Moss, man. I got a chance to watch his entire speech. And he had a tie. It was really, really dope. It was a navy blue tie. The names were gold to match the jacket. He had 10 names that included Tamir Rice, Eric Gardner, Freddie Gray, Sandra Bland, Alton Sterling. We all know where these names come from. We have talked about these names.
Most
these
of us
people.
do.
Most of us. The slain African American.
The slain.
Slain. Did I say slain?
Hmm.
Slain is correct, no?
Keep
I
going.
guess, yeah.
Okay.
I
Keep
think
it pushing.
Yeah. He trying. I give him an A for effort.
All right.
Slain makes me think of like with
Don't-
swords. And shit. I'm just saying, like, but yeah.
I feel you. Randy basically said, I just wanted the family members to know that they were not alone. We hadn't forgot about them. And he actually was saying that post induction ceremony. He was sitting next to Ray Lewis, and he opened up his jacket so they could zoom
See
in
how
on the
nervous
ties.
Ray Lewis looked?
Ray looked mad nervous when
Ray
the tie
Lewis
came
out there really looking like what's dude's name on Django? Steven?
Steven.
It's Steven looking
Hey,
ass.
Ray's speech was cold. Ray got
Was
busy
it-
on his speech, though.
Was it really cold?
Come on, man, with the wireless mic. Don't do that, Jay. I'm coming to you, Jay Moore, because I think you got pent up aggression.
That's
so
why his bus looked like trash.
his bus was trash. Randy Moss's bus was dope.
Yeah.
Actually, had the cornrows on it.
He had the cornrows. I'm trying to think. Nobody saw T.O.'s bus.
Random, before we go any further, just a quick plug. Did you see the video of the white girl who was doing cornrows, but she had a big pack of corn,
No.
frozen corn, and she was threading it with corn?
No, she wasn't.
No. Are you serious?
No, I didn't see that.
No, man.
She was trolling,
Okay.
but it was funny.
All right.
I definitely have to look that up. So, Brother Moore, talk to me about, first of all, let's start positive and tell me about the
Okay,
impact
I'ma
of
start
Randy Moss's tie. Then I guess you can get to Steven.
Well, no, I mean, I think that's when you have a platform and you have an opportunity to make a statement. I think that's very important that because he didn't have to do that. He
He
could
did
have.
not.
He could have got up there and had on a new T-shirt, something maybe Nike gave him, something to where it's definitely going to benefit him and him only.
Right.
That's a fact.
But for him to keep the names of those who have been lost to police violence
Yep.
In the forefront, I think was very big. That might have been one of his more important than any touchdown he could have ever scored. So
Lasting impact. Lasting
so
impact.
and it's one of those things where you're like, hey, he's putting himself on the line because the way it's set up now, there are people who don't like that sort of thing. So
Right.
there's somebody who might have had a business opportunity set up for a Hall of Famer wide receiver who was like, no, I'm going to step back from that. And he probably knew that, and he still decided to do that. So I
commend him for that.
do commend him
up.
for that.
Yeah.
I think that's very admirable.
Yeah.
Especially right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right now.
It takes balls to do that if you think about it.
He ain't
It
out
really
here
does.
cowboying.
Nah, he's not.
Mm-mm.
See,
So,
I need Dap on that. I like that. That's well placed.
but
Go ahead.
He said,
you
I need-
know,
I need
as-
Dak on that.
yeah. Oh, need Dak on that. See.
I like that
Dropping
too.
them entendres.
Yeah, Lone is a rapper. Don't y'all
He is.
forget that. Shout
Now-
out to Hinks Jones, section leaders. Go ahead.
When we talk about Ray Lewis, now I'll be honest. I'm a longtime Pittsburgh Steelers fan, so of course I don't like anybody who's played for the Ravens except for Rod Woodson. I
All right,
gave him.
Hold on. Let me
Shouts to Purdue.
Let me paint the picture for them in terms of what Ray did, and I'm coming back to you.
No, that's okay.
Or do you want to just go ahead? And
No,
cut
I
him
mean,
up?
and the thing is, like Ray, because he was sitting right next to Randy
Yeah.
when this happened, and he just looked like, "Come on, man, don't mess up the moment."
Yeah.
Can we get a reenactment?
Yeah. So
So Randy
so
Randy
he was
Moss
sitting
was
there
talking and
with some Beijing or whatever that was. he
Don't
had
do
on
that.
his head.
Don't do that, Jay.
And of course, like Ray Lewis.
Don't do that.
And let's clear something up. Ray Lewis was not convicted of murder.
Facts.
You have to
was not.
understand, he's a snitch because he turned state's evidence on his people.
Mhm.
And the thing is, what's crazy? Ray did some time behind that, but the people that he snitched on didn't wind up getting convicted. So he's not even a good snitch.
Let me
So-
play devil's advocate here.
I'm sorry if anyone knows, I don't care for Ray Lewis.
There's
At
a lot
all.
of folks don't care for Ray Lewis right now.
So does Ray have to abide by the street codes? Is he a street dude? Because we know how,
Well, first
you know
of
how
all,
they do
no,
about
of
snitch.
course not. Of course
No.
not. Like we
All right.
already know he's a snitch.
He's a law-abiding
revoked.
citizen. No,
We already know that he doesn't care for the movement.
mm-hmm.
Not at all. He blocked the Kaepernick deal.
And
Wow.
so, and we already know,
Yeah.
like, for whatever
Because
reason,
Kaepernick's wife capped at his ass.
for whatever reason, the
She's
NFL
cold, too.
decided, hey, we'll, we're going to talk about this later. We need to make sure that they don't mention Colin Kaepernick's name
Yes.
in our NFL football game. But in 2005, we'll put this snitch on the cover of the game.
Yeah.
That happened.
Once again, I don't want anybody
Can't-
to. I hate when people call him a murderer because once again,
Yeah.
he's not a murderer. Ray Lewis is a snitch.
His name is Steven.
Wow.
Allegedly.
If you look at
Oh no,
the-
it's not alleged. He's a snitch.
He don't like to see black
Allegedly.
people riding horses.
if you looked at it, and the thing about it is, there's actually some
Allegedly.
there's footage of him actually going at his homie Shay Sharp on Undisputed. Like Shay was calling him to the carpet on the very thing that Jay Moore was talking about, and he was like, "Yo, man, you're my homie. We came up together in the system in terms of the Ravens."
Yeah, I remember that.
Ray Lewis stayed with him, right, when he was
Mhm.
going through all the issues. So they like brothers, so they close. But he called him on it alive and was like, "Yo, I got to disagree with what you said about Cap."
Look.
And I'm paraphrasing here, but Shay Sharp was like, "You really are sucking and jiving low key."
Look,
Hey.
when somebody has been shown as much grace as Ray Lewis has, it is imperative that you do not come at somebody like Colin Kaepernick, who hasn't had as much as a speeding ticket.
Yeah.
All he wanted to do was peacefully protest the deaths of unarmed black people at the hands of police
And play
But-
football.
and play a little football. But oh no,
Sounds
you've been shown a level
I
of
see.
grace for being a snitch in a murder trial
Yeah.
that is almost incomprehensible to someone like me. But
Mhm.
someone will say I'm hating, but that's fine.
And he was in Baltimore snitching.
Facts.
That's crazy.
We've all seen The Wire.
Mm-hmm.
He could have ended up in one of them boarded up buildings.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Shouts to Marlo.
I see you.
He coming.
I think to come back full circle about I guess what we started in terms of Randy, I think it's dope to have those names because hopefully, they always continue to show Hall of Fame videos. So when that comes up, there's going to be somebody down the road that's going to Google and see what happened with the people and why they were on the tie. For those that weren't informed, or obviously it happens after the fact down the road.
I'm hoping that this situation actually ends up in history books because
Exactly.
they take a lot of stuff out and try to change the narrative. From
Yep.
what I understand in history books nowadays, they call slaves now are called
Unpaid workers.
Unpaid workers, right?
Yeah.
They came over here to work. That's not true. That's
That's
bullshit.
That's how old I am because that's new.
Well,
That's
there-
well,
Yeah, I
that's been
think they
going
try
on
to
for a few years.
they try to fog it with
Yeah.
with the Asian Chinese people
Oh,
and the
okay,
Irish
okay,
workers.
okay.
Yeah,
they
okay.
try
Make it
to
seem like-
mix all that together.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's one thing.
Fair enough. I wasn't aware of that. Okay.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what's going on. But hopefully, that is written into what's going on because people try to change the narrative all the time. You see it in politics, you see it in
Yeah.
the music industry. I just
Mhm.
seen something with Dame Dash talking
man.
about what's his name?
Lyor Cohen.
Lyor Cohen saying he didn't know who Dame Dash was.
And there's all these pictures of them.
If we can
Yeah.
squeeze that in, I definitely would like to do once we start talking about our music portion because man, Dame called it years ago, called him
Yeah.
a culture vulture,
Yeah.
and he pretty much exposed himself to be just what Dame said he was. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
But yeah, it's just how people try to change what's going on. And
Yeah.
so
Mhm.
hopefully that this portion of history isn't forgotten and left out of the books for people to read later.
Yeah, so shout out to Randy Moss for taking the initiative and also risking. I think it's a risk. To your point where you talk about what might happen and the opportunities that he may lose. Hopefully he doesn't, but we never know in these days. That's big.
Does he
So
work for the NFL still?
He is a part of the NFL network, I believe, in terms of color commentary or not
Okay.
color commentary, but the halftime show. He's on a
Gotcha.
halftime show for either the NFL network or maybe Fox.
Said
And that's
Moss?
interesting
Yeah,
that
Randy Moss.
he takes that angle because remember with when Mike Vick was asked
Yeah.
the same question about Kaepernick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was saying he thinks he should cut his hair or something like
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the message that the Afro portrayed.
Right.
And I'm thinking, to me, the Afro drives the point home.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And it
Keep-
But
kind
it-
of goes
well,
to
it scares white
what you
people.
were saying as
Facts.
far as he's
someone
been
who's
given
been shown
grace.
grace,
Right.
someone who
I see you.
is
I
a
see you.
Yeah.
felon who
Yeah.
actually spent 2 years in a federal prison,
Right, and still got a job
and
in
was
the
still
league
able to get $100 million contract with the Philadelphia Eagles. So
Right.
when you're
That's a
shown
fact.
that kind of grace, you need to have a different mindset. So
That's a fact.
That's all I'm saying.
If anything, he should be capping for Kaepernick.
That's a fact. I agree with
Like
y'all.
if they let
100%.
me back in the league, this guy is.
he definitely should be.
all
yeah.
he did was kneel quietly.
Right,
I was out here fighting dogs.
definitely.
Ray Lewis is like, hey man, I was out here on a murder trial.
Mm-hmm.
Big
Yeah.
facts. So
They let me back in the league. No one was burning my jerseys.
Allegedly.
No, it's for real.
We see you, Lone. Speaking of Cap, EA Sports apologized this past Thursday night for editing out Colin Kaepernick's name in a soundtrack for the Madden 19 video game. We all know how popular Madden is. They said it was an unfortunate mistake. It says, we made an unfortunate mistake with our Madden NFL soundtrack. EA Sports said, and it says membership of our team misunderstood the fact that while we don't have rights to include Colin Kaepernick in the game, this does not affect the soundtracks. We messed up, and the edit should never have happened. There was a record with Big Sean, YG. YG went on IG and actually was like, yo, I demand an apology.
Yeah,
You know
he
what
was
I'm saying?
actually
Like-
outside. He took a knee while he was doing the apology.
Yes, he was
or
outside,
demanding the apology.
poolside, yes.
Yeah.
And I've been seeing it. Here's the thing. Shout out to 𝐀𝐻𝐲 because 𝐀𝐻𝐲 made me actually think about this. So we always talk about the stance on the NFL. Are you going to watch? Are you not? Will it have impact, etc. We've already beat that. That's a dead horse. We get that. But I saw Charlemagne, Ninth Wonder, a couple other people,
Van Lathan.
pretty much saying they were going to put the bread up for the amount that the game would cost. And I feel bad. I didn't look up the foundation that it would go towards. Is it
Know your
something
rights.
involved with Cap?
The Know Your Rights
Know your
Foundation.
rights. So people are pretty much saying we want to boycott Madden because of this situation. Now, there are people on both sides. There are some people that are like, yo, let's go ahead and boycott Madden. Let's put that bread towards a better cause, and let's show them, quote unquote, right? There are other people that are like, this is not going to matter. I'm still going to cop the video game. I'm still going to go to games. I'm still going to do fantasy, etc. Right? Like I'm all in because it's really not that big of a deal. So I'm coming alone. In terms of this whole situation, in terms of the boycott, we talk about the impact or whatever. Like, how do you feel about the people that say, yo, it's really not that big of a deal, and it is what it is. I'm still going to enjoy the game because I'm a gamer.
I respectfully disagree.
All right.
So, now I understand that people just not buying a game is not going to necessarily alone cause any type of impact necessarily. But when you stack that on top of other things and you get movements and you get pushing behind it, that's how movements are started. Or
Facts.
part of it.
I agree.
The NFL is getting paid off of that, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So
They have a partnership.
So if you decide to not put your money up to not go to NFL games, to not do these things, then you are contributing in some point. Now, the points that a lot of people are making is that it's not where it needs to start, I think a lot of times, and that is what I would agree with. I feel like it needs to start with the players. I feel like we can contribute to that by boycotting, or if we don't feel like we want to support such things, which I don't. But at the same time, I feel like it does need to start, and there needs to be a strong foundation up top from the people that are actually engaging in it.
Okay.
Some of those arguments that I've seen as well said, well, this isn't going to have direct effect on the communities and certain things going on. I think one of the references was there were a whole bunch of shootings in Chicago last weekend.
I believe 30 people died in.
I thought it was like 65 shot, like 15.
15 died. It was
So-
within a
But it was
short
a lot.
amount of
It was,
time,
you
though.
know.
Like
So the argument to that was, well, how is not buying a video game going to affect that?
that's the one I saw the most. Good point.
But
That's
at the
one I
same
saw.
time, it's police brutality. I don't buy the idea that just because slavery is over,
Yep.
or segregation is over, or Jim Crow is over, or right, that stuff is over, that it's completely gone from our system of America.
Right.
Right. It is turned into other things. So I don't buy into that idea that everything's just all good and we just need to accept things how they are now and just move on. Now,
Okay.
to an extent, I believe there is a portion that you do have to accept where we're at, but then move on it.
Sure.
But the idea of just ignoring the fact of actually standing up and actually boycotting things and actually protesting certain things, that still has value to me, in my opinion. So that's what I'll say on it. I could go farther, but I'll leave it open for
Jay Diff, jump in terms of the, I guess, kind of piggybacking on what Lone said in terms of the actual impact. Will there be impact? We know where you stand in terms of watching the games, you know what I'm saying, and being involved with the NFL. I'm not sure if you're a gamer, though. So
I'm a gamer, but I do the same thing with the live and everything.
Yeah.
I pretty much buy it every other year anyway.
That's what I do.
Yeah,
stuff like
2K,
that.
yeah.
Okay.
But I understand the impact as far as, especially with people having a reason to donate that money to Kaepernick's what's it called?
The Know Your Rights campaign.
Know Your Rights
Right.
campaign. I think that is something positive. You
They're
know what I'm
offering
saying?
a solution. to
Right,
it.
offering a solution to it. Because what I don't like, and I've said this before,
Mhm.
is all the money combined in the NFL. If you decide you want to watch football, play the game, that's fine. It's just this is just where I stand. I think there's enough resources in there
Mhm.
for people to create their own thing. I'm tired of everybody always wanting to be involved in what's going on or wanting to have equal rights and shit that we're not invited to or they don't want us around. We still want to be a part of it. Fuck that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? This is a time and a place to start creating our own shit.
Mhm.
Other people can be involved in it as well.
Okay.
I'm not saying just make it all exclusive to where, you know what I'm saying, other races aren't
It's
invited.
pro-black or whatever.
You know what I'm
right.
saying? I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
it
just-
can still be pro-black. Pro-black doesn't mean that
That's
you're
what I meant. That's
Doesn't
what
mean
I meant.
anti-white.
right.
Yeah, that's what
it
I
doesn't
meant.
mean
That's
that.
what I meant. Yeah.
So I think it's time to start creating our own stuff. There's no reason to want to be involved in all of this stuff that we are in, and we're pretty much the majority leader as far
Yeah.
as bringing in the income,
Mhm.
but we're not majority leader as far as ownership is involved. That's what I don't like.
The ownership piece is
Definitely.
important.
Like when you compare NBA and NFL, I mean, you do have a lot of white ownership in the NBA as well, but you have minority leadership and ownership as well.
That's a fact.
NFL is not present at all. And then you have I think McMahon's, he's starting like an XFL or something like that.
There's there's two new leagues.
They're bringing
started.
that back.
Yeah, unfortunately. They're bringing back the XFL.
Shout out to He Hate Me.
He hated
And,
me. He
that's the
actually
only
got a
thing-
deal out of that.
That's the only person I can remember is He Hate Me.
And they're bringing,
Shout out to He Hate Me.
I just know there's another football, the American Alliance Football League.
Hmm.
I know that
You always got
Mike
the Canadian
Singletary is
League.
involved. I know that
Okay.
there's a couple general managers, and
Mhm.
I know there are people who are involved. It's going to be a spring league. It's not going to compete directly against the NFL,
Hmm.
but I just to Terry's point, like we've brought this up before. It's like it's not enough to just not watch the games.
Right.
It's not enough just to not watch or buy the video game. That's why I like the Madden challenge that was put up by, when people say, okay, use your platform for something positive, and said, okay, we're going to use our platform to say, instead of spending the $59.99, that's before tax, of course, to
He's a gamer.
to buy this video game, put up $59.99 for the Know Your Rights campaign, and they've
Right.
raised over $80,000. So if you think about $59.99 at a time to get to $80,000, it's a big deal. So I think
So imagine how much EA is actually getting from those
Talk that
Yeah.
talk.
games, period.
Talk
Yeah.
that talk.
so. One of the things that I think that is very important is that we understand the strength of our voice, the strength of our dollars. And I think we need to send, for whatever reason, it seems like the powers that be in the NFL are only concerned about the loss of viewership and the loss from their racist white fans.
Yeah.
Like, why
Right.
are you so
They're concerned
concerned?
about the bottom line.
And
That's
it's
the
like-
reason
all it
why.
is.
And it's like, why are you not concerned about, your black fans, your
Right.
Hispanic fans, your
Yeah.
your progressive white fans.
Yep.
Why are you only concerned about your white fans who like to set things on fire when they're not happy with
See,
something?
Facts.
this is what I'll say to that, because majority of the white people go to the games. Definitely,
Yeah.
it's definitely more
No, that's
white
definitely the
folks that go to
majority of the
games.
season ticket holders are white.
But as far as Madden is concerned, everybody buys Madden.
yeah.
That's the reason why they had to come out and pretty much say they apologize for what's going on,
No question.
because they still want that dollar at
Was
least.
it EA that apologized, or
Yeah.
was it?
It was EA.
So it's not
Because this is the second year in a row. This is the
Yeah,
thing
it's
that
EA.
I didn't realize, because like I said, the last Madden I bought had Drew Brees on the cover.
It's been a while for me too.
So,
So
but now we're finding out that this is the second year in a row, because there was a Mike Will Made It song that had a Colin Kaepernick reference, and they bleeped that out too, which really helps Colin Kaepernick as far as the collusion
yes.
piece is
Interesting.
concerned.
Goes right
You know,
right in line with his
because
argument.
If you're going to say, "Oh, we didn't have the rights to use him as a player," now you got to think, okay, anytime you've had a rapper on your soundtrack, when they've ever referenced somebody else,
Yeah.
did they always take out the celebrity's
right,
name?
Yep.
right.
right.
If not, then it's like, okay, you specifically, and plus when you listen to it, you're like, no, that came from an engineer.
Mhm.
Somebody
Facts.
Somebody had to.
that wasn't an accident.
Yeah, that was asked
Because
to
even
happen.
games where Michael Jordan wasn't supposed to be in the game,
yeah.
there was a player like Michael Jordan in the game.
Player number 23.
You
Or
know
there
what I'm
was
saying?
a really, he might be 99. It was
99,
like,
yeah.
why is that white shooting guard really, really good? Yeah, because that's supposed to be Michael Jordan.
Mhm.
Yo, let's take a quick break and pay some bills real quick. Shout out to Coleman Dental 317-255-8546. No bad ideas as well. They laced us with this one. I really like this one. Red August had his eyes on it, but it might be a wrap for him. I like how the bill has the flavor underneath as well. So shout out to them. Printfinity, we already talked about Printfinity. BringingDownTheBand.com is always a hub. And shout out to Team Backpack as well. We have enjoyed working with them. Hopefully that relationship will continue to grow. We appreciate you guys as well. I didn't mean to break it up, but we got to pay them bills real quick.
Okay. Well,
No doubt.
Don't do that.
I think another point to that too would be the fact that there, especially right now, and I'm not even like, I don't want to say it's necessarily a bad thing, but the culture that we're in right now, as soon as something pops up, social media takes it and it just becomes this spiral of this crazy
100%.
thing. Just like, oh no, now we need to
100%.
boycott video games, or now we need to do
100%.
this. Like, if we take it back a step further, we're talking about EA Sports. Then we have to take about, who's the ownership of EA Sports
Yeah.
and EA, and then
Yeah.
what other games do they play? Are we going that far?
Yep.
Like I feel like a lot of times it's just kind of thrown out there. Like.
I mean, it's an option. I understand that. And with the money
that's
going
the key point.
towards something
That's where it
that's
becomes
actually beneficial, then that makes sense.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
I can dig
Because to your point, there is a trend going on right now to where you just boycott everything, but that boycott doesn't last very long.
Yeah.
Right.
It never lasts very long. So what's the point of just saying that you're going to boycott it and you're doing something, but there's no effort involved as far as creating a difference, or, you know what I'm saying, giving a different option.
And I think that's a lot of the people's criticism in general, is that like,
Yeah.
oh, this is the boycott of the month, or
Right.
this is what this is for
It's
right
becoming
now.
a thing to do.
It's common.
Right.
It's
It's
as common as
It's becoming mainstream.
crooked cops killing people.
Facts. Well, you
It's
know,
just the other side of the coin.
I wanna transition into some music, but y'all have a choice. You have a choice. You can either, contribute to Colin. You can play the game. You can cop the game and contribute to Colin. I'm not sure. It's
Hey,
so
It's
much
your
gray
world.
area. It's your world.
I understand why people support football to a certain extent. You know what
Word.
I'm saying? There's kids up here growing up that are trying. That's their goal, is to go to the league.
Sure,
Mhm.
and we always
Hopefully, some of them have a mind state that they want to change shit within the league.
yeah.
Hopefully, before that even happens, something is changed.
And it's not about us crushing dreams or anything. Like
Nah.
that's to his point. That's a great point. Like, this league has helped a lot of families provide. It helped a lot of people provide for families.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So we're not knocking that, but it really comes down to a choice. Let's transition to some music. Shout out to all of Memphis adjacent,
North, south.
north, south, east,
East,
west.
west.
Yeah, great
Orange
city.
Mound.
Yes, sir. I
Ball
want
and G.
you. I want to try this one real quick before we talk about albums. Dame Dash is a prophet. He called Lyor Cohen a culture vulture. He's always said that. They say he's always said Lyor Cohen is the one that broke up The Rock.
Right. Yeah.
Had Jay tucked to the side, telling him to be away from Dame, etc. So he was on an interview with the Breakfast Club. Charlamagne he was asking the perfect questions. He talked about the culture vulture.
Lyor, that is.
I'm sorry. Lyor. Lyor was on the Breakfast Club. So Charlamagne says, well, Dame says you're the one that was responsible for the rock. And Lyor Cohen says, I don't even know who you're talking about. We all know that's bull. There's multiple photos of them together.
That sounds like somebody else, too. That sounds like 45.
Sounds like something Trump would say.
Yeah,
I like
he
that.
didn't
We all
know
know that.
David Duke was.
Yeah, he's going, he has zero accountability.
Trump put that type of deflection on the map now.
Facts.
We can all see that now.
Super facts. So
Starting trends.
Angela Yee and Charlamagne kind of together, kind of mentioned to him, well, how do you feel about the opioid culture and all that? He's like, oh, I think it's the worst thing that ever happened to the music industry.
Or he said it's the worst thing that happened to this country. He's not even talking. He said outside the music
I
industry.
misspoke. Period.
Yeah.
So then they follow up with the question I was looking for, where it's like, well, how do you feel when an artist actually is into that, when you go into the process of signing them and seeing what they want to do? And his response was, I have kids as well.
I got people I need to feed.
I got people I need to feed.
Look at that.
And at that point, I said, Dame Dash, sir, you are officially a prophet. Because this is the epitome of a culture.
Then he said he didn't know who Dame Dash was.
Exactly.
Because I was like, okay, this is a good interview. He's giving until he said, hey, I got people I need to feed.
He was dropping
like,
jewels
oh,
in terms of the actual music industry up until
because
the culture vulture.
He works
part.
with YouTube Music right now, right?
Yes, he does. He is
300
actually
something.
His
or other.
title is YouTube's global head of music. That's since 2016.
We discussed his one of a mini documentary on him at the Build one time that he had.
Was that through Complex?
I think so.
Yeah,
it was like a sit down type thing, and they talked about his entire career and all that.
Fam is a super vulture, man.
Yeah,
Fam is a super vulture.
Hey, man, epitome.
I mean, like when he said it like it was just easy. Like, yeah, I got kids, I got family to feed, and I'm like, so you want to benefit and feed your family off something that you just said is the worst thing to happen ever?
Yeah,
come on, man. And Dame actually, there's video of Dame responding to him, and he's going off like, I told y'all he was a culture vulture. He had one of the artists from 300 Entertainment. That's who Lyor Cohen left to go to YouTube. And there was an artist there. I can't remember the young man's name, but he's like, yo, I'm on a 360 deal. I got like 8 kids. Lyor won't answer my phone calls. Nobody answers my phone calls. I'm out here struggling. I got child support. And
I mean, he was blocking releases on Def Jam.
Yes.
Oh, he was the inventor of the 360 deal, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Essentially, or one of the guys fundamental in bring that to surface.
Very instrumental in it. Very instrumental.
Okay, yeah.
But he was blocking releases on Def Jam in order to get other acts out. So these are acts that are signed to Def Jam, but he was blocking them from coming out, or pretty much writing them out of music and stuff that they had to do with.
Yeah.
Well, no, I remember.
I see.
Ja Rule had a group called Cat. It was who he was with, actually, a cat named 01. And I'm not sure if Black Child was in it and Tom Murder, but
sounds like a group I'm happy that he shelved.
Actually, Cash Money Click I actually enjoyed their records more than I enjoyed Ja Rule records, and I actually had a value on Ja Rule. Once again, I come from radio.
Every little thing that you do.
All right, don't do that anymore. And it was a whole thing where this, he basically, that whole rollout was basically,
that was cold.
Lyor was like, nah, I understand this record is done. All these people are on another record label, but now we're going to go ahead and block this. And so like, I understand there are a lot of people who have issues with Lyor Cohen.
Well, people sued him.
There are Lyor stories.
I mean,
the thing is,
people
and Lior's like, I believe it's TVT Records. Yeah. So it was TVT Records. So,
Professor Griff was dissing Lyor Cohen like
4
or 5 years ago.
Well, Professor Griff was dissing Lyor Cohen 4 or 5 days ago.
Shout out to Professor Griff too. He used to come into my branch in DC. That's the whole. He was cool, real cool. I met him.
That was an
3 or 4
all-star
times.
branch
because he came with the
situation,
where he's like, that same thing that they did to Dame and that they did to Jay. That's basically how they tried to work it with Chuck D.
Yes.
And Professor Griff.
Yes.
It's like, let me pull Chuck D to the side. He's the rapper. Let me just go ahead because this is the guy right here. And then let's kick Professor Griff out
dude
of the
that's
group.
feeding them all the information.
Which is crazy because, like, I'll just never forget when Professor Griff said, "How you gonna kick somebody out of a rap group? You know, people get killed for shit like that."
You're right. He was bodying him like three. You're right. 'Cause I saw the same
I
one.
remember
Yep.
Professor Griff talking about this way back when they did the Public Enemy Behind the Music on VH1. This is
And
more
he,
than a
to
decade
Jay
ago.
Moore's point, he just bodied him recently and made all the points that he just made. And I just couldn't believe. Well, I'm not gonna. I take that back. I believe it, but it's crazy to see. Dame has always been the guy that's like, Dame is crazy. Dame's running his mouth. Dame is crazy. Dame is crazy.
I've never really seen Dame like that though, man. I've always seen him as
But he's got that reputation.
he does have that reputation.
Dame wilds
He's kind
out,
of
but
like
the thing is, Dame is not wrong.
he always has a point. Cause like it's funny because you see Dame in a lot of different situation and news stories nowadays.
Mhm.
Like I guess he's the one that funded what's the dude's name that wrote Empire or whatnot?
Oh, Lee Daniels.
Lee
Lee Daniels. He gave Lee Daniels like $1 million, $2 million. Lee Daniels still has not paid that man
He
his
confronted
bread.
him at the
He confronted him.
Diana Ross concert.
Confronted him
That's
about
the
it to
most
the point where he had to talk about it on TV. Like
He said he owes it.
Yeah, I do owe Dame,
Yeah,
and Dame,
yeah.
I'm gonna get you squared away.
So Dame is batting 1,000 in terms of
he
this foolishness out
he
here.
doesn't. Hey, he ain't out here lying.
He's
Look,
not.
to the public at all.
Dame back in the day went in
He-
and smacked Harvey
he-
Weinstein.
he shot at you?
Yeah,
Yeah. So it's like,
Don't do that.
he walked in on a Def Jam meeting when they was trying to not include him in ordeals that had to do with Jay.
Shout out to Choke No
There's
Joke.
a
who actually
whole
shot
video
that
about that out. Yeah.
Choke No Joke shot that joint,
But-
and he destroyed Kevin Loud.
Yeah.
Like a bitch.
Hey.
Yeah, that's what it was. I see you. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. And it's just crazy, man, because fam was so nonchalant about,
Yeah, man.
this is what we do. Unfortunately, no. Well, what the even worst part for me was he was like, yeah, we signed the artist knowing that they want to do this or they're involved in this or this is a part of them. It comes with them, but we do want to get them help after we sign them. And I'm like,
that's
come
one
on,
of the reasons
man.
why artists have evolved and are smarter now. Chance the Rapper,
He called them
i.e.
junkies. He was like, you guys are junkies.
No, that's not what I'm talking about.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
That's not what I'm talking about at all. What I'm talking about are the artists that are taking pretty much their skills, their talent, their business acumen into their own hands.
Facts.
They're doing this without deals because the deals are pretty much screwing everybody over.
Yeah.
So if I can generate my own fan base, I have my own producers. I can pay to get my records and stuff printed up or pressed up. I mean, nowadays everything is MP3 anyway. It's a lot easier. And that can generate a tour. Then what do I need you for?
Shout out to Freddie Gibbs. He's somebody else is doing that with the even the last Freddie album. He had fam got pillows, like he got wax, and he's been independent for a minute. So
It's
look, shout out to Sirius Black. Sirius Black just put out
Yeah.
some wax.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a different state of mind too. I think artists are finally understanding that. Well, there's two things. I think artists view the signing a record deal as propelling them to that next level. Now, so like, okay, I can do all this stuff independently, but if I want to make that extra money, then I can go
I
sign
need
this
a label.
deal, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like a lot of artists are actually seeing beyond that and saying, well, maybe I don't need. This is something we talk about in the build again, not to bring that up, but
Please bring it up.
But it's the idea that, how valuable is control over your own product
Right.
and your own self. So if you have full control of your product, you can put out whatever you want, whenever you want.
Whenever
You still have all full ownership of everything. So you own everything. You decide where your money is going. Why do I need somebody else as a middleman to take any percentage of my money, whether
Exactly.
that's 10%, whether that's 20%, et cetera? You don't really need that. So
The
why not?
only way that it makes sense is if it's a distribution deal.
Distribution is important.
That is important, but it depends on what they're selling because
Right.
you're
exactly.
not really selling a hard copy of a CD.
Yeah,
anymore.
what's
That's a fact.
distribution?
And that's where I was
Right.
going. That's where I was going.
Yeah,
That's where I was going.
distribution is like, hey, let's make sure it's on Spotify, Tidal, and Google Music.
True,
That's
but this is
distribution.
why
To
people are
Lone's
putting
point-
out records now because records are more novelty
That's
than
a fact.
anything.
Right.
That's the
That's a
reason why
fact.
people are pressing up.
So
these
now
vinyl
there's
records.
multiple distribution deals. So you'll have a digital distribution deal with this company, and you'll have a physical one for vinyl for this company. You might have another distribution for your merchandise for this company over here. But I think what artists are starting to realize is that, you know, you don't have to be Jay-Z to be successful as a hip hop
Those
artist.
days are gone.
If
And-
anything, they literally gave you the blueprint, no pun intended,
really.
on how to do it because they marched into Def Jam and got a deal which still made them independent.
Right.
Similar to what Cash Money
Yeah.
and
Because
No
Def
Limit
Jam just
did.
put Rockefeller's records in the stores. That's
Right.
basically what they did.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, but at the same time, even if now, if you take it to the extreme to where we are now, where, extreme meaning independent wise, you have artists that don't have any type of distribution deals outside of the company that they signed their digital release with and the company that prints their vinyl or whatever. You know, there was
Chance's album came out on SoundCloud first, I think.
a time. Well, Run the Jewels came out and it was free.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just, and they have a completely different model. But I think
they sell
I
out
think the
shows
bigger
worldwide.
I think the bigger thing here is that
Stadium.
I think artists are starting to realize that it's not all or nothing. It's not I have to make millions of dollars or I'm not going to be there. I think artists are starting to realize, well, I can make maybe $100,000 and be all right, or I can make $50,000, or I can make $20,000 and grind a little harder and increase it. You look at the Odysseys. You look at how somebody like Odyssey has built his career. You see artists that are, yeah.
I got a name for you, and it's on a lower scale from my Odyssey, but you look at a rapper that was a part of a group that was, I say, well, we all would say, I would assume would be iconic. You look at Little Brother, right? So you got two artists. Well, actually, Ninth went and did Jamla. That's a
Right.
separate entity in itself. But you look at Fonte, he went to the foreign exchange. They're perfectly fine. You look at even Big Pooh, like Big Pooh, every time I look up on Instagram, he's a part of another tour. He's going somewhere, he's performing.
Right.
Like he's still out there making a living and being cool off a core fan base.
Fan
his
base,
point, like
fan base and relationships.
And relationships.
You know, building those
Right.
relationships.
Yeah,
You know,
and-
that's the important part of it.
I don't even know what label, or if there's a label that foreign exchange will be associated with. Is
They're
it
their
just
own.
them?
Yeah,
they're their own
their own
entity.
label.
Case
It's
in point.
it's the foreign exchange. It's Nicolay and Fonte and whatever music they put out and their associates and all that stuff. And
They
in
distribute their
point.
own music. Like,
Yeah.
I literally bought, I know I just said CDs are pretty much obsolete for the most part, but I bought Fonte's last release from that website
Yep.
and he signed it personally.
Right.
Like that's pretty much the rollout now. To give you an incentive on buying an album, a CD, a tape, or whatnot, they're gonna throw something else extra in. You're gonna get a poster. You might get something signed. That's pretty much the market of
Like what David
selling
Banner
records
did.
and stuff
He,
now.
he,
the God box.
Yeah, the whole-
when he put
yeah.
in the God box, you got a couple of DVDs, you got a flag, a T-shirt, you got
Right.
like but
I
that's
didn't
what
even see what the price was for that, but I kind of wanted one of
Yeah.
those, man.
Yeah.
I fool with David Banner.
because he said as far as you being able to stream it for free and he gets a couple cents. He's like, I didn't put a couple cents into making this,
Right.
So, but he got all his money back, and
Hey.
people, and you haven't heard one of those songs on the radio. I've seen his videos because I'm a David Banner fan.
But David Banner's making so much bread off public speaking, touring.
Well, but that's
And-
relevant though to what we're talking about though.
yeah,
Right.
no,
You
I'm
know what I
with
mean?
you.
You know
Yeah,
what I
like
mean?
that's
He
part
built
of
his
it.
brand.
He built his brand. Yeah,
So
he built his brand.
So maybe I guess it goes into it because it's built on the relationship and
Yep.
based on how he's building it. So like he can put his project out. It may have cost money, but if you're an independent artist, sure you got costs that go into making it. You
Yep.
have to
Right.
put all this money up,
Yep.
but you don't have people in your pockets when you get the money back.
Facts.
Exactly.
And that's the difference. And you can keep your royalties as long as you have your publishing.
And David Banner definitely has royalties. He has
Absolutely.
he has a lot of music that he's produced. He's got movies that he was
Yeah.
in.
Scored commercials,
Yeah,
scored
exactly.
films.
So-
And to Mike's point,
So
you
he
know-
has that luxury. So that and
Right.
maybe it's different for other people.
Yeah,
he
but
doesn't
to
have
Mike's
that
point,
luxury.
it took him his career to get to the point to where he can now speak. So he
Yes.
continued to be persistent in not only being open to being a hip hop artist, but also somebody that he speaks now in colleges and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
And that's another thing.
He's known
too.
as something. He's got another avenue of income. So you're
Exactly.
creating.
And that's
different
another
avenues.
thing too with David Banner, somebody that took that route he doesn't have to make another album, and he's
No.
going to remain relevant because of his views on things. You know what I'm saying?
People
Right.
want to hear there are people who would rather hear him speak than to hear him rap.
Exactly.
But that's in you know,
That's the genius of it, and that's the beauty of
and that's not a
independence.
diss.
No,
That's not a
definitely
No,
diss.
it's not this.
I just want to. I would
That's kind of like
That's the beauty of the
like,
independence.
That's like what's your guy?
The section
Man,
leaders.
nah. Well,
I see you. I see you, Long. Shout out to
Dick
Nova.
Gregory.
Oh
That's
yeah,
my man.
Dick Gregory started out as a comedian.
there are people who have no
Yeah.
concept of that. They just know him as somebody who's is a speaker.
Exactly. They don't know anything
Like,
about
he-
him making jokes.
He and Cosby are in that same class.
Right.
Like Dick Gregory is the dude that opened the door for the Cosbys and
Yeah,
everybody
Exactly
else.
to be able to
Yep.
stand.
He was part
flat-footed.
of the civil rights movement, all that.
Certainly.
Heavy though.
Yeah.
So, and with using that, we talked about David Banner as an example. Like it just shows how cold it is to be able to be independent. Because to Lone's point, he built up the clientele to be able to speak, but he's also pushing the God box as he speaks.
Exactly.
So it works. It all works hand in hand.
Episode full
It's
of
just
double
part of
entendres.
him.
Yeah.
It's just part of him.
That's
Yeah.
dope. Like,
Word.
yeah. So I'm all for it, man. Like the independent move. We always talk about own your own or whatever, but there are so many people that are still successful on a lower scale that might not be the stadium scale or what everybody wants to be. But there's a lot of people that are living a very great life. You know what I'm saying? Doing what they do.
Absolutely.
So
And
Hey,
then-
shout out to Tragic real quick.
yeah, shout out to the homie Tragic, man. I was texting with him earlier, and he landed a role on Empire. So
Nice.
Tragic is a rapper here in Indianapolis. Actually, I'm a fan. I slept for a while because I wasn't quite up on
No,
him, but
he's
I got
dope.
a chance to meet him.
He done a lot of stuff with Dylan Prevails, right?
Yeah, shout out to Joey French, Dylan Prevails.
He'll be performing
Yeah.
at Trees.
Yes, and I got a chance to chop it up with Tragic in Chicago one time. We went on a trip together, so I got a chance to get a feel for the homie. He's actually a good dude, man. Makes some dope music. You know what I'm saying? He got that street culture, that street vibe, but it's dope. It's good
Y'all
product.
better holler at him for them features for the price go
Man,
up.
Yeah.
Dylan
Tragic,
too for them beats
Hey,
before the
man.
price go
yeah,
up.
Tragic about to get that bag, man.
Making bangers
You know
every
what I'm
day.
saying? I'm gonna stay out his pockets, but we proud of you, boy. That's a good look.
Straight
Shout
up.
out to Joey French and Dylan Prevails as well, because
Absolutely.
Tragic did tell me his character is going to involve rapping.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a chance that he's probably going to more than likely perform a record that Dylan
Get that
and Joey
publishing.
had some in there. So they're gonna get a check from that.
Hey,
So that's big for the
Look,
city.
that
of
Indianapolis
Straight up.
connection on
Yeah.
Empire.
I know,
is
right?
Yeah.
Between DJ Prince.
Prince,
DJ
yeah.
Prince.
Yeah.
What was the other
artist-
young kid?
No, I was thinking about my man. Oh gosh, I feel bad. The artist he does with the
Loban.
yeah, Loban.
Yeah.
He's
I
in
know.
the Hit Breakers alumni.
And there was another younger kid that was on there that's from here as well.
I see.
Around the same age as Prince.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I didn't
Yep.
know that.
Yeah.
No, but so like that show has a real like it's crazy. It's set in Chicago. It's
Yeah.
filmed in, well actually it's not, it's set in New York. It's
Mhm.
filmed in Chicago.
Filmed in Chicago.
But there's a strong not just Indiana but Indianapolis connection. So shout out to Loban, shout out to Tragic, shout out to DJ Prince for using that platform.
Yeah. I
Straight
met
up.
Loban. I met Loban at Coach's one night.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Loban like that.
He said he actually watched the show or something.
word.
it's,
Yeah. I remember
It's
that.
crazy.
If you watching, what up?
Way back in the day when he was in the Hit Breakers record pool, shout out DJ Rec One. We were I remember telling him, I was like, dude, you are the hardest working DJ I know. And it was partially because he was like working in like basically nursing home and digging graves. Like Loban was
You said
a hard-
digging graves?
I might be exaggerating.
So
there.
he went from assisted living to
no,
digging graves.
So, there was
straight
just, so he
no,
just
like-
followed the clients, right?
Right,
No,
exactly.
like wow.
I wish I had
Follow the
something.
drip.
I wish I had something.
No,
Follow the drip.
no.
Follow the drip. Follow the drip.
Straight up, like he came to one of our
Alone as a
we would
genius.
have record pool meetings. This is when record companies had money to spend on DJs, and I was like, "Man, you the hardest working DJ." And like he said, that's part of why he started doing what he
Well, yo,
did. So
Hey,
Let's
shout,
make
shout
let's
out to Loban. That's my guy.
but
He's a
let's
good
make
dude.
sure we keep that we make sure we shout out Tragic, because that is super dope to me.
it
Yeah.
is.
I think that
It is.
brother deserves that.
Trap Town
uh,
is hot in the streets right now.
Yes, sir. I don't meet too many genuine people, so I'm happy for that brother, and I hope everything goes well. I think he sent me, just so I make sure I'm right. I'll make sure I get my facts right. He said it's episode 2. He's gonna be a rapper trying to get a deal, so hopefully he performs those records with our homies. You know,
Hey, I'm gonna
Joey
watch
French
it
and
off the
Dylan
strength
Prevails.
of that because
Off
I
the
actually
strength.
stopped watching Empire. I'm
Off
not
the
even
strength.
gonna lie to you.
Yeah,
But since he's on there,
yeah.
I'm gonna
Yo,
support
and-
Naptown.
And
So
shout
we
out-
on that.
Shout to just Indianapolis. hip hop getting that look. Shout out to
Yes, sir.
Diop getting that and Mad
Yeah.
Dog getting that look on
Spike
She's
Lee.
Gotta Have It.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
man.
I said,
We out
man,
here.
I mean, like I'm telling you, like Indiana is so many jewels here, and like I said, we're a local podcast with an international vision.
Mhm.
I'm telling you, anyone who's listening outside of the city and you need to find that talent, you need to be here in Treese on the 25th
when it happens,
because it's going to be real.
and
Facts.
double XL or was it Complex?
No, it's
What's
double
it?
XL.
Double XL.
Double XL. Okay, just shouted out Treese as one of the music festivals that you should attend.
Yeah.
So before it starts popping, y'all need to come on here.
Oh, it's popping already.
Well, I'm sorry, I misspoke. Before it blows, y'all make sure y'all come on down and get a chance to experience this because we got a lot of good things going.
Yep.
I know the new old heads crew is forming. We Voltron out here, so there's
Yeah,
a lot
we'll-
of
We got a stage there.
Yeah,
So,
so
bring
we'll
on
have
the
a
band
stage.
Yeah.
and we
certainly.
really and
With Decademics.
I was telling Tragic this, and I told the Drunken Knights this. I told my man T from Stakes is High. It's not about hate, man. It's all about supporting people. If you see somebody that gets a look, clap for that man.
Straight up.
Yeah.
It's not that hard to clap for somebody and get back to what you were working on. So take time to clap for somebody and show them love because to me, that's a dope accomplishment. That brother deserves to get clapped for. So I'm
Indeed.
happy for him. I hope
Speaking of local music, let's talk on some music real quick.
yes, sir.
since
Before we
got a
get
little
out of
bit
here,
time.
shout out to the homie Double A
Yep.
from Indianapolis. He dropped a project called Peaked. I believe it is an 8-track EP. I
7
heard
or 8, yeah.
7 or 8. Diop was on there, local artist from here, as well as Jeremiah Stokes,
Fox the Legend.
Fox the Legend. And who am I
yeah.
missing?
Distinct was on there
Distinct
as
as
well. Some other people, yeah.
I personally would
Willis.
think. I personally would say this is a good representation of Indianapolis music in terms of the hip hop scene. From what I
It's-
heard,
as far as like 7-track
Yeah.
projects,
you know, we talk about those.
it's
a
one of
lot.
my favorite 7-track projects
Yes,
that's come
sir.
out. So,
It's actually better than Ye. So shout out to Double A. We see you. Yeah, I said that. Other stuff that came out, Mac Miller Swimming, which I think is absolutely dope. You got to be in the right mood, musically, sonically, is pleasing on my
definitely
ears.
musically. Definitely musically and sonically.
I mean,
Good songwriting
every project you listen
You
to,
can
you
say
got to
that
be in
about
the
every
right,
project.
Right.
and everything. It's just
Fair
dope,
enough.
man.
But
It's
like
just
I
yeah.
was saying
It's just
earlier,
dope.
And
It's just
I'm
dope.
just telling you, I haven't been. I thought Mac Miller was cool, but this project had me
his last
going over
two
saying
have
like,
been like
yo,
that.
what is
I think
Yeah.
his last
2 or 3, really.
Yeah.
I want
At
2 or 3
least
might
3.
be right. Yeah.
And this
so
is
now
what I
it
was
makes me want
saying
to go back and
earlier.
check that stuff out. So
Yeah.
because
It's good.
this new project is really,
Shout out to
really
Mac
good.
Miller
Shout out
putting
to Mac
time
Miller.
into his project.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was
I
saying
can-
earlier.
As a
far
popular
Mac,
artist.
Mac Miller is concerned,
Yes.
he always elevates his game. It seems like on each release,
Yes, sir.
he's musically growing every time.
Yes, sir.
Cannot front on that.
Yeah, so I really like that.
Yeah,
I can dig it.
Yeah, so shout out to Mac Miller because I love this project. I'm a musical
called
dude anyway, so
Swimming?
it's called Swimming.
Yeah.
Yeah, Travis Scott dropped
Red August don't like it.
No, he doesn't.
He
but
said it was boring.
well,
Well,
no, man, we don't.
you can be boring too.
Yeah.
That's all right.
we
You
don't-
just got to be in the
Be
mood
boring
to
in
listen
that
to it.
corner.
Yeah, we ain't tripping about him. Shout out to Travis Scott, Astroworld. I think Jay Diff said it's better than Scarface to Fix.
I
It
did
turned
not
out
say
from
that.
Texas.
Why would you scream
I ain't
blasphemy?
gonna even put that on you like
Why
that.
would you do that?
Tell me about Travis Scott. I thought it was solid. I didn't think it was that, but go
I
ahead,
think
brother. I'm gonna let you
I think
cook.
it's solid as well.
Put the camera on him now. Go ahead, man. I'm gonna let you cook.
It is definitely a nod to Texas,
Yes.
Houston. That is.
Yep.
With his sampling, his style on some of the songs is
Yeah.
definitely that Texas feel.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a solid album, man. Like real solid.
The one thing I can say about the Travis Scott project is he wasn't bullshitting with this. Like he actually took his time. He put effort into the project. You can
He
tell
did.
when somebody just tries to put
Sounds like
something
an effortful commercial project, right?
an effortful.
I mean, I
commercial
give you
project.
that.
Yeah.
I give you that.
I haven't
And the
heard it
thing
yet,
is,
so
the
I
thing
wanna
is,
hear it.
I would not classify it as trash. There's no way I would do
Why
that.
would you even say that?
I'm just letting y'all know.
Because we said commercial.
Exactly.
Well, our commercial ain't trash though.
That's another topic. Go ahead.
Right.
Wow,
I mean,
really?
It is. It's not. Our commercial is not
Kiki.
trash.
I ain't
No.
say it was.
Do you
I just said
love
that's another
me?
topic.
This is what I'll say about
Shout out to Kiki.
no. Fuck Kiki.
Damn.
This
Really
is what
know
I'll
Kiki.
say. Man,
You ain't got a little cousin named Kiki?
I don't. This is what I'll say about Travis Scott though. It replaces because like this summer, this past few months, there's always tracks and stuff you looking forward as far as the sound of the summer.
Sure.
It's been real Drake heavy.
Very Drake heavy.
Very Drake heavy. Whether you like him or not, if you go out, you're gonna hear a lot of Drake.
No question.
He's gonna compete with that.
Oh, definitely. He's
Hey,
definitely
he's actually
competing with
moving
that.
crazy units. He's projected to move.
I mean,
maybe
people-
He's got a
units.
a certain sound. A lot of people kind of
fuck with
take
him.
Travis Scott's sound, and he's responsible for a lot of Ye's influence.
The
here
first
lately.
couple records sound exactly like Kanye records.
It doesn't
to me.
sound exactly like Kanye.
I'm talking
records.
about the influence, man. You could tell that he and Kanye were working together.
I
That's
get-
all.
I will say this though. I don't know if anybody went to the Kanye West tour
You love Travis Scott.
last year. I wouldn't say all that either, but his project is dope.
It is.
There were like interludes in the show where
Yeah.
like there were like instrumentals and things like
Mhm.
that playing,
Mm-hmm.
and I swear there were instrumentals playing at his show
Mm-hmm.
that are featured on Travis Scott's album.
Interesting.
Like
That's
kind of
dope.
like the choir singing type stuff. Like he would have like visuals showing, and there would be like this kind of ambient type music playing.
So Ye's been with Travis Scott a lot. They've
He
been
has
Yeah,
been,
I
but
mean
that's
Travis
known,
Scott
though.
was actually there at the concert.
Word.
He
word.
said he started the tour here in Indianapolis.
They say he
Indiana.
was helping over Pablo as well. He was helping with Pablo as well. So
I'm sure he has. I
I'm
mean,
cool with that. It's cool.
there's always artists that you just start hearing about that were pretty much inspiration and influential to projects that it came out.
Sure.
That's just like 𝗏. He's
Yeah.
responsible for a lot of
Right.
shit out here right now.
I believe it. I believe
What else?
it.
What else dropped? So I know Pope dropped the two track project EP today,
You know what?
and I don't remember the name of it.
But
It's
we can look that up real quick.
I'll
I
look
did
it
not
up.
get the name.
What else?
Let's see what else we had. We had
YG dropped
Davey,
the album. I
YG.
didn't really listen to that.
I didn't peep that one
I
yet.
think I might have listened to 3 songs, but I did listen to the whole Silkk The Shocker.
Yes.
Let me go ahead and just extend this episode.
So
real
let's
quick.
go ahead.
Yeah,
let's
do
let's
that.
go ahead and talk about Silkk The Shocker real quick. It's called "It Will All Make Sense Later." Shout out to Common. Yeah. So
Everybody got to fighting.
So Bird's Cage Sessions presents "Bury Me Alive." It's Pope's 2-track project.
Pope,
shout out to
yeah.
Pope
He's
Adrian
dropping
Bless,
in
Indianapolis.
He's dropping a
Indianapolis
full joint here soon.
later the end of the month. Anyways, back to
Yeah, we rock
Back
with
to
Pope.
Silkk The Shocker.
But yeah, so Silkk was on his.
He was on.
Silkk The Shocker.
He was talking about.
Silkk drew from his
He
inner.
drew from his.
He drew from his inner Common. It will all make sense later.
Look, I need to
Um,
make sense right now.
Man,
He got about 18 joints. You know what I'm
18.
saying?
He's still taking it
17,
old school.
18
he ain't
joints.
bullshitting out here. Huh?
He's like, let me put out a bloated album.
It's a
full
lot
of
of
bullshit.
Bloated album.
It's a lot of
He
on
want them
there.
checks.
I'm not.
Yeah.
mad. He's like the originator of like the Migos ad libs.
Hey, Silkk ad-libs have always been cold.
No, they haven't.
No, they haven't.
I've
Let's-
always liked
no.
it.
The only this is
While I'm fucking
What the fuck? See what we were just doing. So he's got ad libs and he's got doubles, right?
yeah.
So people can kind of get those two things confused. His doubles were always like competing with his verse
Well,
His
because
doubles
he's
were
always
always
trying to
because
fit
he's
a
always
whole
like
bunch
trying to
of
fit a whole
words
bunch of words
into
into the
this-
same time.
yeah,
See,
the
this is
same
this is
thing.
what's going on.
Yeah.
This is a
That's a-
Silk
This is
project.
Silk verse right now.
Yeah,
Oh,
this
what
is
y'all
what's
doing?
going in,
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So-
Okay.
Whole bunch of words,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's not the same as like a Busta Rhymes
Uh-huh.
that does a bunch of words,
Okay.
but it's timed perfectly
Mhm.
to where you can hear every syllable. It's hitting every beat. It's on time.
That's a Busta Rhymes. Silk's
Yeah.
like, you know, like so. But I will say, just from briefly listening to the few joints we listened before we went on, because I haven't heard the whole thing,
Mhm.
it doesn't sound as bad as it used to sound.
I'll
It
put it to you this way:
wasn't- it
he's on
wasn't
beat.
trash.
He's on beat more now than he
Now?
was when we were in high school.
Yeah. I think
But
he grew.
he got hood classics from high school.
Well,
Hey, Silkk.
The Shocker album.
Hey man, spot your ass in the middle of a busy intersection and car like it's going the fastest. Jump in front of real fast.
I got
Real
Hey,
fast.
hey, Silkk, spot,
Hey, you know what?
hey,
You know
spot
who-
me something, homie.
You know
Man,
who
spot
actually
your ass in the
took?
middle of a busy intersection and car like it's going the fastest. Jump in front of real fast.
You know who took notes from Silkk though?
Who is that?
What's his name? He run with
That's it though.
our damn.
Who is that?
What is his name?
The dude that runs
Booty.
said,
He got the song Booty.
Booty.
Oh, Black Youngster.
Black
Black
Youngster.
Youngster.
Black Youngster took some notes from Silkk The
Silkk.
Shocker, because he be on his videos talking about fuck you whores and fuck you and real.
So the way Silkk The Shocker rap, that's
Yeah.
That's how he
Black
talk.
Youngster talks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, man. Hey, man. Silkk.
And fuck your great grandmama. Yeah, that's Silkk shit right there.
That's a special brother, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave him alone. Shout out to Memphis. That's a special brother.
Mike
Respect.
scared of Memphis.
I am, man. They got
We
hitters
don't want no
in
smoke
Memphis.
though.
I don't want no smoke with Memphis. They got hitters in Memphis. Is there anything I'm missing? We want to pub
We
anything
got
before we
hitters
get out
here.
of
Remember, this is the
So,
most
according to
dangerous
Warren G.
place in
Yeah,
the
exactly.
world.
On Earth.
Yes, Alcatraz around here. Jay Moore, we got
Fallujah.
anything popping with you?
Let's see. The only big thing I got popping is, of course, every Thursday night I've been Tiki Bobs with Lemmy Vice, and this week DJ Gabby Love. She had a couple weeks off, so she's going to be with me there tonight. So it's just Thursday, and of course, man, it's Take That Tuesday every
Take That
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Tell your friends, tell your enemies
Yes, sir.
too. Just tell them to act right.
Every
When they
Tuesday.
come through, and let's see. Don't forget on the 25th, I believe, is the
Outcast.
Outcast.
No, it's the
Icon.
18th, I believe, ain't it?
Is it? Oh, yeah, that's right. It's 25th is Trees.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the 18th, which is going to be the Outcast
Live.
Icon Live at the Jazz Kitchen.
Word,
so
word.
That shall be grand.
that's going to be an incredible show. So
I'll be there.
if you were at the Tribe Called Quest tribute,
Yes, sir.
then we're just doing that, but we're doing it with Outkast and taking it to a whole nother level. So shout out to Sir Doug and Old Soul Entertainment.
Jay Diff, we got anything popping for yourself?
This weekend, nah, it's all Printfinity business for the most
I
part.
like that. I can't wait till y'all see my line. Longevity, is there anything else?
Just
Come on, man.
doing what I do.
I think I'm gonna go ahead and
It's
leave
a whole
it
lot
at
of
that.
shit.
That's why they put me out in the hallway alone, because the last guy that could reach me. Shout out to Silkk, man. Let's go to
Yeah, yeah.
episode.
Real fast.
Real quick. Every Saturday.
Yes.
Sex
Sex
Leaders
Leaders
Saturdays.
Hey,
Shout out to my homie Grit. Section Leader Saturdays, we have dropped Glide and Nova. This is an experimental project. Myself,
socks are
Longevity, and
Yeah.
my homie Grits.
We're dropping Nada on Saturday.
Yeah, it's pretty good music, man. So hopefully y'all like it. Check it out. This is episode 93. We're gonna wrap it up. Shout out to Red August as always, making us look great as he always does. Sex Leaders merch, I see you. No Bad Ideas, Coleman Dental, Printfinity, bringing down the band.com, and Team Backpack. We appreciate you guys for the love, and we will see you all next week. This hat is mine.
Sign up for our
It is
Patreon. We got vinyl
not.
raffles.
Peace.
These are raffles.
holler at
We
your
out.
boy, scream at your frog
Ah!
with your bitch ass.
I'm sorry, man.
It's all because of you. I'm feeling sad.